The first thing that we would like you to do with this staff training is to do the most basic thing, which is to meet your local team, but to also set some ground rules for when you interact with each other as well as in the classroom. We think that ground rules are quite vital as it tells us what is acceptable and what is not, and everybody should agree to them as well. But a little bit more on that in a couple of minutes. So the first thing we'd like you to do today is to just meet your team. So we have a little activity that shouldn't take you more than about 10 minutes to do that we've described on this slide. So this is what you will do. You will get into pairs or a group of 3 if there's odd numbers, and then preferably pair with somebody that you don't know very well where possible, and then have a chat to just get to know that person. So what you'll have to do is to make sure that you find out at least 3 to 5 things about your partner. This should take you roughly 5 minutes. And then after that 5 minutes of chatting, organize all your chairs into a circle or semicircle so that the whole group is sitting together, and then essentially introduce your partner to the rest of the group. Now, if your group is very, very small, tell your partner what you remember about them from their description of themselves. This is very important. This is a simple little icebreaker that we'd like you guys to do. So I want you to pause the video right now, do this for about 10 minutes, and then continue on and watch the rest of the video. So go ahead and pause it now. I'll wait for a couple of seconds, and then I will continue. So now that you have all met each other, hopefully, we'd now like to move on to establishing some ground rules. So firstly, why do we create ground rules? So ground rules tell us how we will behave together, and there will be no assumptions. So we need to ensure that everybody is on the same page, and we will also be setting some expectations for each other within the classrooms. Now we've just got an interesting little explanation on why ground rules are important and how we set ground rules, and it simply states that very often new ground rules come out of retrospectives. For example, a team might have encountered an issue with some members making decisions on their own, and after a discussion about how to avoid this in the future, they decide to add the ground rule, we make decisions together, to the list of rules. So in the same way, you will be setting some ground rules with the next activity. So here are some examples and some suggestions on what your ground rules may look like. So as an example, perhaps only one person should speak at a time. All team members are equals. You should address conflict by dealing with the issue, not the person. You should notify the team in advance if you will be absent. This is an important one. You should be a participant, not a lurker. You should also have fun, but not at the expense of someone else's feelings. And to be present both physically and mentally. This is vital for our staff team. So these are some very simple examples of ground rules that you could come up with for your class. So now the next activity is just that, setting your list of ground rules for your class. So I'm just going to run you through the activity very, very quickly, and then you'll head off for about 15 minutes and actually create this list of ground rules. So what we want you to do is the following. So as a group, you're going to brainstorm what is important to each member in terms of acceptable behavior. So how do we want the other people around us to act? You're going to select a scribe. So one of you will be taking down all the notes. And then this scribe will be taking down all the suggestions, right? In a place where everybody can see. So preferably on a projector where possible. And you'll also create this document in your IBT Google folder, your IntBT Google folder, which I will share shortly. So then as a group, you will decide on your top 5 to 7 suggestions. Once you have your list of ground rules, you'll basically agree on the top few ground rules that everybody's happy with, everybody's comfortable to agree with. And then you will talk through each item to ensure each team member has a clear understanding, but very importantly, agrees to the ground rule. So you must all agree to the ground rule, right? And when you finalize your list, get confirmation from each member by having them raise their hand to physically acknowledge they agree to abide by the group behaviors, right? This should take you roughly 10 minutes. And then you'll type up the finalized list and share it with the rest of the staff members, for example by using Google Docs. So now I want you to go ahead and set those ground rules, and then we'll carry on within the next video.